to the Wager Makers Podcast with Webb and Schmidt.
Brick by brick, baby. I'm freaking out, Webb.
I was told there'd be no man. Stupidity is going to be an asset. What a bunch of crybabies.
Hello, my name is Steve Smith, and this is Rob Weber. Say, hey, Webb.
Hello. What's up, Smith?
What's up, buddy? I'm Smith. That's Webb, and we are the Wager Makers, and this is the Wager Maker Podcast. Thank you all for listening. It's Thanksgiving weekend. We're a couple days late, but we let that turkey set in a little bit, and some of that tryptophan or whatever that stuff is called to make you sleepy.
Tryptophan haze. Yeah. Yep.
So we're finally, it's Friday evening. We're going to get you some picks out there for the weekend.
Some winners.
And hopefully you can have a great, profitable Thanksgiving weekend. Webb, this is Wager Maker Podcast number 71.
Unbelievable. Every towards the middle of the week, whenever I start looking up the numbers, I'm like, wow, we did this 71 times. Holy shit. I can't believe it. We're committed to something. 71 was tough for me. I got to be honest. No one came. I did have to do some research. I'm sure Walter Jones was the one that I found. I believe he's a Hall of Famer for the Seahawks. Great left tackle, I guess, right? He definitely was a tackle. I believe he's a left tackle. A good player. I remember him, so that'll get my vote for this week. Not much competition.
All right, fair enough. There you go. Walter Jones. I got nothing.
Walter Jones. All right. I got a couple for 72 right off the top of my head.
I know you got something at 72 for one of your Cowboys guys. Is, 72, but no doubt. All right, so number 71. Well, we're moving on. Last week we did pretty good in NFL. We had I think we're like 7-1 after the Thursday night game for the Sunday and Monday, something like that. And that moved us back. We talked about how at Sports Watch Monitor we had dropped to number 17. That moved us back up going into the week to number 10 out of the 70.
Top 10 is good. We can make a move now. We only got. it's winding down and it's getting crazy with this COVID shit. So we gotta hit on the picks that we are able to make.
Right. This so the latest news. The big, it was such a downer yesterday because. Like, no offense. Well, I don't care if I offend Cowboys fans, but the games yesterday were the sacks of shit.
Awful.
So the only thing we had going for Thanksgiving was like, man, that evening, though, Steelers and Ravens, that'd be a good one.
That'd be a good one at night, yeah. Yep. Rivalry game.
So that got canceled. And, push to Tuesday now.
Well, it went to Monday originally, right? And then to Tuesday.
Well,
and then
Sunday. I think Sunday first, and now it's
jeez. So, and they're crying, too, the Steelers players in particular crying. I saw Eric Ebron was on some type of rant going off. I hear what they're saying, but what are you supposed to do? What's the answer? I don't know. I guess they're getting moved around. I don't know what's the difference. Just fucking show up and play. You're making $7 million a game. Shut up and play. So I don't know what the problem is. They're 9-0. They're basically cruising. Actually, you know what? I think that's another thing. Lamar Jackson, I think, has COVID, so he's not playing in this game anyways. And they were saying that's where I saw it on the Cowboys website. He's even in jeopardy for playing the December 7th or 6th, whatever, next game. So he's definitely not playing against this game against the Steelers. So they need to quit bitching.
Right. Well, that's the weird thing is the Ravens were actually scheduled. Their next scheduled game is Thursday night. So that's already been moved back to Sunday. With this, I guess if they play it all,
right? If they play this game, yeah.
But they were scheduled to play, so they can't play Tuesday. Obviously, can't play Tuesday and Thursday, so that got pushed back to
bizarre. I had one thing to be happy with over the weekend or over these past days, Smith. Carolina basketball is back alive and well. They had a very good showing, and just to show you where the state of the world is, they had Roy Williams had two things written on the board. First thing is play the game. So that's all. That's the first thing that coaches, at North Carolina, historical program. The first thing he's on his mind is let's make sure we can play, and then the second thing, and number two was win the game. So it just shows how everything is just upside down and sideways right now.
Right. It's been weird with the COVID, man. Especially it's so much more difficult. It seems like with the college basketball, it's going to be. It's already popping up all the time. That I know there's less players, and maybe you can keep them a little more in a bubble than in the pros, but there's just so many more games and it's just constant. It's 2-3 times a week and they're testing the guys and man, there's already been a ton of games postponed. I know these are really like the preliminary early season, kickoff game, tip-off games and preseason tournaments and things like that. But man, they're having a heck of a time just getting guys out.
Yeah, the Maui Invitational is going to be held in Greensboro, North Carolina, at like the Greensboro Civic Center or some shit with no fans. So I mean, it's bizarre. And it sucks for Maui. I'm sure they have that penciled in for $1 million in revenue every year or whatever the number is. And not only that, it's cool for the college kids to go to Hawaii, fuck around and play some basketball. So it's crazy. It's bizarre.
And it's I've noticed, Webb, of all the sports so far, I think as far as a fan watching on TV, the hardest one I'm having a hard time watching is the college basketball with no fans.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's
Just
hard.
like especially these preseason tournaments. They're in these little small gyms anyway.
Right. Yep.
And it almost looks like you're watching a practice at the Park Avenue School Intermediate over there in Freehold Borough, and you can hear the coach yell, and you can hear the squeaks of the sneakers.
Oh yeah, big time.
And it's just, man, there's no energy coming from the fans whatsoever. No. Obviously, they're playing hard and stuff, but man, it's been tough to watch. I'm ready for them to start piping in that. They haven't done that for the college hoops yet that I watched. Start piping in that fan noise or something.
Yeah, because, it's but the point. Yeah, I mean they're playing these tournaments, whatever, these prelim games at places that they never play before. Like there's one. I've been to a couple in the Atlantis where it's like literally a ballroom that they throw right on top of the rug. They put the floor down, so it's not even. They don't even have a PA system. It's like automatic. So yeah, it's crazy. And it is tough. I couldn't agree. You sent that text yesterday. I'm like, oh yeah, this is brutal.
Right.
Brutal.
It's just so. I mean, God, if it wasn't for money on this game, it'd be really hard watching.
Right. Yep. Saving the world. Sports gambling, saving the world.
Right. When they're in those offbeat gyms too, because they'll have 3 different 3-point lines. Sometimes there's a volleyball court. Sometimes there's a volleyball court right on the thing and everything. You're like, oh shit, this is.
There's all kinds of painted lines on there. Yep.
You don't know when the guy's out or when
is he in bounds? Is that out of bounds?
Right.
Is that 3? Is that 2?
So anyway, I watched a lot of college basketball the last couple nights. It was nice to see that back. The MAC let me down this week. I put
hurtful the MAC. I don't know what happened.
And I'm like, oh man, I'm in a little roll with the MAC Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, we were crushing it.
Even had a MAC game today. Central Michigan came back and won for us. But and they let us down on Tuesday and Wednesday night. There was nothing. We had.
Why would they? I don't know. Now they play Saturday, so you play your schedule, for 5 weeks or whatever the week, however long, and now you're playing Saturdays. Well, first of all, we were applauding them for every. I was like, I made a point to shout out the MAC, and now fuck the MAC. Now it's just another silly game that we're gonna kind of gloss over.
Praising them,
singing their praises to high heaven.
Somebody over there's got a brain Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Somebody gets it finally. Common sense.
This message goes out to you, Mac. We praised KBO early on before any other sports were out there too, and I left them for in a heartbeat when other sports started. And KBO, I begged you to be on in different time zones. But anyway,
good.
I want to also thank KBO and congratulations to the NC Dinos,
baby.
They won the championship. We were big on the KBO Korean Baseball League early in the season. Hey man, KBO, you got me through some tough times, baby. I'll never forget you. We'll always have something special, KBO. Through some tough times back early in the pandemic when there was no other sports. But
4:30 in the morning.
Spent a lot of late nights watching the KBO, and I'll always owe you. I'll always remember you for that.
It's a place in our heart. That's when we speak of you. We'll speak of you well.
Right. All right. So Webb, lots of stuff happened over the weekend. Big stuff down here was the Taysom Hill experiment. Had a really nice game, good percentage, good rushing, did all around solid game. I think he's got a lot tougher matchup going into Denver this week. We'll see how it goes. There was a lot of Taysom Hill haters over here and stuff like that, but so far he's done the job. So I think if I don't mistake my memory, I think last year sometime I mentioned maybe Taysom Hill getting in there and Sean Payton building the offense around him. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm not ready to say I told you so yet. We're a long way. One game's a long way from that, but certainly looked good this week.
I mean that they didn't ask him to do too much. That's I think Sean Payton's probably his greatest strength is to kind of accentuate the players, what they do well and do the game plan around that. He just devises the game plan exactly what the guys do well. So the dude ran more. I wouldn't be surprised to see if he runs less this week type thing, and have him throw more or whatever it is. But yeah, they look good. The defense looked good. I mean, they're looking strong right now. And I mean, in the NFC, they're right there. Them and the Packers again. But I my money would be on the Saints in that game.
Right. Right now they'd be the number 1 seed in the NFC, and like you said, the defense. Just like when Breeze went out last year, it seems like all the other facets of the game for the Saints really stepped up. I mean, the Falcons are no great team, obviously. But to only give up 9 points that's a defensive.
Well, it's a conference game, division game. It is whatever. You can only play the guy on your schedule. So I mean, the defensive line is what's probably more impressive to me. That dude, Davenport, and then what's the dude from Louisville, maybe Rankins, and then obviously the other guy, the stud,
Cam Jordan too.
Yep. And then those linebackers are kind of, aside for Davis, they just seem like they just kind of come up with some linebacker every year. They lose one, and some dude kind of fills the same yeoman's role and does the grunt work, and they play as well. And then obviously Lattimore in the back end, and that Jenkins have been a good trade for them. I don't know if did he even play, but he's still in. I might have had a pick last week, I think.
And
I've seen him do, but he's that was a good deal for them. He seemed like he elevated his game when he went over there.
Right, and not only that, the Saints picked up Quan Alexander in a trade a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
he's already in there making plays and doing stuff. So now they do have two guys on that second level, Demario Davis and Quan Alexander, really making good plays.
That was a good trade, actually. They almost got that for nothing, and that's another thing I think that the Saints do well. They're not afraid to pull the trigger on something like that. Not that Quan Alexander is a household name, but he's a baller, no doubt. He had a better year, I think, last year. I don't know if they played him right in San Francisco, but anyways, that was a good trade too. They're doing things right, and they run that football program great.
All right, there you go. Well, what did you say? How do they run the football program?
Great. Right. They're smart. They do things that other teams should do. They play to the player's strength.
There you go.
Holy shit!
Who would have thought?
Unbelievable! What a novel idea.
Well, I took the Cowboys yesterday, Webb. You got anything to say about Thanksgiving Day? Maybe
I don't know. I mean, I'm tired of making excuses. No excuses to make. They're just a bad football team from top to bottom. One thing I will say is they did lose the left tackle and the right tackle very early in the game, and that was the left tackle was the backup of the backup, and then the right tackle was the right guard because the other right 2 tackles were out. So I'm not making any excuses for them. It's just been a shit year. I just want it to end and let's move on. But there's nothing to say. I did think they'd come out the death of the strength and conditioning coach. Right. That's always, I don't really know what to say about that. I don't know if that affected them or not. That's a difficult thing, and I know how that was going to play out. But obviously they weren't. It affected them, negatively. So I got nothing to say about them. I'm just waiting on, like I said, Carolina basketball season, and my Chargers are looking bright in the future.
Hey, yeah, I should stop asking you about the Cowboys. The Chargers won last week, even though they cost me a lot. They didn't cover the Jets. They let the Jets come back into the game last week, and I think Chargers were favored by 9.5 or 10, and they let them come back and get the backdoor cover against the Jets last week.
That was one of those ones too, Smith, that scared me. After we get it in, we're all hyped about it. We got it in, and we put it in, and then I'll put something on and I'll log back and I'll see the line drop like 3 points. So now the Jets, instead of getting whatever, we were laying 9 or something or 10, and now it's like 7.5. My God, we're dead. We're dead.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, right then it's a loser. And that happened tonight with this. We were on Oregon tonight, and the same fucking thing happened. I think it was like 16 or something.
Right. I was concerned with it being 14 and hoping I can get in under 14. And all of a sudden, that wasn't even an issue.
Right. So.
Webb, they got big news in Vanderbilt this week. I guess they pulled the girl from the women's soccer team at Vandy, and she's going to be kicking. I don't know. I haven't seen for sure if she's like the starting kicker but they made it sound she's going to be kicking for real.
Right. So, I mean, first of all, why not? I mean, if she's willing to do it and she wants to do it. So, here we go, Smith.
Wager Maker Express. I was going to let you finish your thought before I jumped in.
All right. It's all right. It's not important. Now, good for her. I'm all for it. If she can kick it, kill it. I mean, we've we've lived and died by some of these horrendous kickers, and some of them. It seems like either in college the dude can bang one from 75 yards, or he ain't making shit. We've had both of them. Either dude can do it or not. And it's weird too. Like a lot of these guys that are good sometimes don't translate to the pros, and the guys that are good in the pros were some walk on somewhere. So, but I was excited to see that. I don't know what's gonna happen. She has to make a tackle type thing, but
right.
Not
what I was.
How many kickers anyway? What's a normal kicker gonna do? I mean,
right.
Really,
we saw Phillip Rivers try to make a tackle the other day. Basically laid on his back.
He fell over the 35-yard line. Right, and there was another one too in the college game where the dude just looked real bad, embarrassingly bad. The kicker.
So that was going to be my questions. Okay, I'm all about this. Hey man, if she's the best kicker, she's by all means should kick. I don't care if she's a girl or a woman or whatever.
Right. Right.
She's the best kicker, as long as it's not a
novelty
or something like that. Right. So my only questions are: I think you probably can almost guarantee. Well, I guess there's a good chance she won't be kicking off. Because you still would want 11 dudes out there ready to
make a tackle.
You still want the 11 best people that can make a tackle, and whether or not, like you say, we've seen kickers try and make tackles before. How much worse can she be than some kickers?
Right.
But also, I'm thinking in the case of like an onside, like a fake field goal, you can probably rule out the fake field goal in which they flip it to the kicker.
Yeah,
these are minor things. These are minor things I'm looking at. I don't know.
But if she could bang it, I mean, if she could kick the ball, 7 yards deep into the end zone, they're not going to worry about anybody running it back anyway. So it'll be a touchback.
Right. True. But anyway, we're all about it. Webb's got a couple daughters over there. We're all about it. Hopefully she kicks ass and
absolutely, we'll be rooting for her, no doubt.
Up to her.
I'm against her this week, though. I think.
What's up?
I think we're going. I'm going against them this week. I think
they play Missouri this week.
Yeah,
huh?
I like Missouri.
At least we could, no matter what, I can tell. I can fuck with Brad and say, "Hey, you let a girl score on you."
That's right. That's right.
So no, more power to her. Hopefully she
absolutely.
Kicks so you're all about it. Just like I said, sometimes they do things for novelty reasons. I hope it's not that she's the best kicker. Just like I don't want to get into something else, but. All right, so big rivalry this week, Webb. Alabama and Auburn. We'll get into the picks about that in a few minutes, but I wanted to bring up a little bit about rivalries, Webb, and what makes a great rivalry. You had your Thanksgiving Day Cowboys versus the team formerly known as the Washington team or whatever. It's nothing more Thanksgiving-ish than the Cowboys and the Indians playing.
Right, no doubt.
On Thanksgiving Day, and tonight the game on this they used to call it the Civil War. They're not allowed to call it the Civil War, but it's Oregon against Oregon State.
Why can't they call it the Civil War?
It's one of the woke things. They stopped they literally stopped calling it. You can look it up. They stopped calling it this year. The Civil War.
That's a bad word, Civil War. All right, that's
listen. And I'm not trying to get too deep into it where somebody records the shit and says, listen to these motherfuckers. But I'm just saying they don't call it the Civil War. I thought it was one of the best nicknames for a I guess for a rivalry game that there was. But,
yeah.
So I was thinking about some things that make it a good rivalry. Obviously, the Auburn, Alabama, you have proximity. That's up there big time. Games that matter are up there big time.
I mean, proximity. You have to have a history. It's got to be a long, a lengthy history.
Right. Games, and games that matter. Like if it's two shit teams that are always shit teams, or if one team is always good and one team is always shit, it's not really that much of a rivalry. Like I remember when I first moved to town and the Saints played in the NFC West, and that was when the San Francisco 49ers used to kick everybody's ass all the time. And Saints fans were like, man, that's a big rivalry, the Saints and 49ers. And I remember thinking, not to anybody else. You know what I mean? That's
not even to the 49ers.
The 49ers are playing the Cowboys in the playoffs.
Right, that's the rivalry, yeah.
Right. So that's not really that. It's got to be teams that are on equal footing as far as that goes. We mentioned the Steelers and the Ravens. That's one of the better ones in the NFL. And even though the Ravens haven't been around for that long as the Ravens, I think the intensity of those two teams and the way they play, that to me in the NFL makes it a really good. I
think, yeah. I mean, there's some actual dislike going on there, and I mean, proximity wise, that's not too close or too far, but that's just that they're both kind of pretty good typically, and kind of fighting, especially in the recent past. They've been the only two at the top of the division there, and there just seems to be some genuine dislike, which always makes it a little bit better.
Right. We can talk about in the baseball. Obviously, the Yankees and the Red Sox has all of it. The proximity, big games, long tradition.
Even the Dodgers and the Giants is a big thing. That's usually they usually open up.
Started out all the way in the East, and now it's all the way in the West. It's playing in, and obviously, if you think about college hoops, Webb, you got your UNC Duke rivalry.
Yeah, that's for me obviously is the best one there. I mean, and along with some of these in college, whatever, the Iron Bowl and all these, Mississippi State, and those are kind of down and dirty, like, cousin goes here and the brother-in-law goes there type thing. And I've been to Carolina a couple times, and that's the thing. Like a lot of the fathers, the rebellious son always goes to the other school. The father and the uncle's been to Carolina, and it's a foregone conclusion that the kid was going to go. And he's like, "Fuck you, Dad, I'm going to Duke," type thing, and vice versa.
Right.
So that has a lot to do, and that's right there. That's a crazy little circle. They're all that's we could walk to one campus to the other, and you could even throw. It's funny you say that because NC State I think considers Carolina probably their biggest rival, and then Carolina doesn't look at it like that. You haven't beat them in 25 years, so it can't be a rivalry then.
Right. So, I mean, the Cowboys, and then you got all the teams in the division are always in football are always teams that are important games. But we know the Cowboys have it with the Giants and with the Redskins and with the Eagles. Who would you think is the Cowboys' biggest? Would you call their biggest rival?
Yeah, that's a good question. It seems to change depending, on who's good and how good. For a while, when Buddy Ryan was the coach, that was a big deal. The Eagles. And then back when Theismann was the quarterback, it was the Redskins. There was something that happened with like Hollywood Henderson and Randy White had some big thing with the Redskins. They went into the Redskins locker room, something that I think if you would ask, old timers, they would probably say the Redskins. That's probably the longest tenured thing. And that's when they had that crazy coach, the Redskins. So I would have to say them. Giants comes and goes, but it seems like they're kind of always on opposite trajectories in terms of who's good and who's bad. So I'd have to go with the Redskins.
All right, and then what about and then obviously in college football we talked about Alabama and Auburn. Growing up, Webb, it was always Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah,
huge rivalry, but that's lost some of the charm over the years, I guess you could say, just because Ohio State's dominating Michigan and Michigan's not really in the forefront. I'm sure. I mean, for those fans, I'm sure it's every bit of
that's going to be Michigan Super Bowl this year. So, that was a big one too. And back when we were kids too, it was always Miami and Florida State. That always seemed to come down. Even when Florida State was better, that was always come down to some missed field goal or made field goal type thing. That was always a good one to see. And in Notre Dame, it seems like anybody who they played, I'm a Notre Dame hater, noted Notre Dame hater. So it seems like anybody they played, they don't really play anybody good traditionally every year. Right. So it's hard for them to get somebody, anyone who they played too. It seems like they played USC or somebody like that, or maybe Navy. So I'd always root for Navy, something like that. But yeah, but there's some that are kind of weak too, like Georgia. Like you'll see Georgia Tech or something like that. That doesn't no good.
Same. They do have the cocktail party, the world's famous cocktail party. So
that's
Georgia, it's Georgia and Florida every year. But like you say, when we were growing up, it was always Florida and Miami and Florida State. The three of them would play each other usually, and it would be great stuff. And then I think as far as Notre Dame, a lot of people talk about USC being a tradition rivalry with them, and but just it's been so long since USC has been relevant in the national picture that it's kind of lost some of it. But you mentioned Navy. That Army-Navy game is always fun to watch.
Oh, that's great. That's one of the best.
So that's one that the teams don't have to be good in that game to be a big.
That's always great. Yep. That's Yep. Excellent point.
So thank you. Thanks.
Excellent point. Yes, that's my co-host.
So, Webb, there's one favorite rivalry of mine that I got a sweatshirt. I want to bring this up because I got a sweatshirt the other day mailed to me from Freehold, New Jersey.
Right. So it's a township in the borough.
Yeah, the township in the borough. Thanks. I don't think it's always the same now, but when we were young, it was always if it was at Freehold Borough, it was on Thanksgiving morning, and if it was at Freehold Township, it was usually at night, the night before Thanksgiving. But check out this sweatshirt I got, Webb.
Show it. Let me see.
Right. So for those that don't know, the Duke is the trophy that goes back and forth between the borough and the township every year. So this is for the Battle of Duke 2020.
Nice.
And then on the back, Webb.
There you go. For some colors. It's got the borough and township, and it's got every score for the last since 1972 on here. How many times did we lose that? Well, not too many times, I don't think.
I don't know. I think we're probably in. It doesn't say if I'll have to add it up.
Add it up, yeah. There's no math. No math. Don't worry.
Right here, Webb. 1987, Webb.
And 88.
That would be our senior year because it was the Thanksgiving of 1987. We graduated in 88.
Correct. Right,
Borough
right.
14, Township 6.
There you go. Exciting.
Township 6.
Exciting.
There you go. I thought that's a pretty badass sweatshirt I got.
Yeah,
it's never cold enough here for a.
No, right. Sure. Who sent you that?
On some Facebook Freehold Borough page or something. Nobody sent me to me. I bought it. Yeah. Don't get crazy. Nobody sent. The only one that sent me like real garb so far has been Herm Sorcher, and that's been about it.
The hat tricks, baby.
The hat tricks. That's right. So anyway, that's a good rivalry. But anyway, so I guess let's talk about our stuff a little bit. The Survivor pool, Webb,
yes,
down to 2. Down to 2.
Yep. I saw Gary Frangione yesterday. He's eagerly awaiting his money.
Rooting you on. Same with Scott Wheatley, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Down to 2-2. It's Doug Walsh got knocked out, and it's down to you and Chad Arnold. I forget which game knocked Doug out. Might have been the Patriots.
No, I thought it was the Cowboys and the Vikings, wasn't it?
It was the Cowboys and the Vikings. Exactly.
So here's my dilemma, Smith. And the two, we got the big one too. We're still in. I'm taking the Browns. I think I took Seattle in ours, and I think I'm taking the Browns in the other one. The Browns at Jacksonville. So
I've been on the Browns the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they've done me pretty good. Other than the dude stepping out of bounds at the 1 yard line, It's low scoring games, but it's been really bad weather in Cleveland, which might be a good thing because they really, I think, have been handing the ball off that are good running back. Like they've really gotten the ball out of Mayfield's hands a little bit.
Right. No choice.
It's really helped out. Hopefully, is Garrett going to be back?
No, he's out again. He's still out. That's what I was worried about. I was even worried about that last week. But I just don't know that Jacksonville has any play. I don't even know who's quarterback. Is it still that kid Luker or what?
But I can tell you this. I think Cleveland's laying like 7, and that's going to be one of my picks that I take.
So yeah, it's down there, and then Seattle's in Philly. And they're laying, I think, 6.5 too. There's another. I actually, you know what? Funny. I actually thought about taking the Giants in Cincinnati too. I like
the Giants. I like the Giants. Actually, I wanted to talk about that a little bit this week. Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. You know, we talked about Joe Burrow a lot, and terrible injury, ACL, MCL, all kinds of shit.
Everything.
Something similar to what Bridgewater had, I think, where he might be out extended period. We'll see how that turns out, but. Webb, do you think like some of these younger quarterbacks that we really thought were going to be like Lamar Jackson? It seems like defenses are starting to catch up to this dude, Lamar Jackson.
Well, if we want to rewind and pat ourselves on the back here, we can go back till the summertime, and we said we need to wait on this Lamar Jackson fad or hype machine. No doubt he deserved to be the MVP last year, but we've seen this before with I think we even referenced RG3 and a couple other similar quarterbacks. They got this dude's number now. I mean, he ain't doing shit. So, and that team is in jeopardy, not even making the playoffs now. So it's kudos to them for game planning around his talents. But now they got to take that to the second level. Now you got to do something different. So the league has obviously caught up with him. In terms of the young guys, I mean, there's good ones out there, but he's going to have to be able to stand back there and pick you apart with his arm. And even that dude, Hollywood whatever his name is, the receiver from was a rookie last year from Oklahoma. Robinson, maybe whatever. He was good. He was all over the highlight reel, and he's ain't done nothing this year. So that right there kind of tells you.
Right. So I think definitely some of these younger guys, they're starting to catch on. But anyway, and that not really talking about Joe Burrow. He's been playing awesome. It was Cincinnati's fault that they had him throw 50 times a game back there with no offensive line. So that kind of sucks for him. But
yeah, I didn't realize it was going to be an extended period. That sucks. Yeah, that was looking promising. I mean, they were looking. He looked very good. He looked like he was kind of born to do it. And it's a different scenario with him than Lamar Jackson. That dude could just do it. I mean, he's a good athlete. He was like an all-state basketball player as well, so he could run and get you first down if he needed to and avoid the pressure back there. But then he could sling it too. So that's the big difference.
Right. All right, so we get into our other pool. So we talked about the Survivor. Our other pool, Little Saint the Goat, still in the lead with Reed in second, Scott Wheatley in the third. Webb, you're tied for third. Gary's tied for third also, and then Todd Lewis and me are right behind there, and then Chad, and it looks like the intern. I don't know if he's still hanging in there.
Yeah, he probably, yeah. Probably not.
Anyway, I guess maybe we can get into this week's games, get some picks going if you think.
Yeah, man, let's do it. Love to.
So kind of a limited schedule in college football tomorrow. Let's start there and see what we got. I got Oregon tonight. They're up by 4 right now, early in the second. So we'll see. They got to cover that 14 points. Could use a winner there.
No doubt. Yeah, I got a couple of games written down here. Western Michigan, I have written down. That's one of those MAC games. I think they're playing. I don't know. Just got to scroll through here. Playing Northern Illinois. West Michigan's been good to us. That's like I think that's a school with the brother is now the quarterback. The other brother was the quarterback last year. It's 20 points, a decent number, but those bottom of the barrel teams, they get kind of whooped up on by the top of the barrel teams in the conference. So I do like that one. The second one I have written down is Coastal Carolina. That's like, Tecmo Bowl watching them. They're playing that little funky kind of blue field, and they just kind of run up and down and score a ton of points. And it looks like, I don't know if you watched the game the other day, it looked like it was, the dude was filming it on his iPhone or some shit. It didn't even, it wasn't even like it was, and they're laying 17 to Texas State. They're going to score 50 points for sure. And then I have two more, and then we can kind of kick it back. Missouri, we talked about earlier. I like them. I think it was 17, I want to say. They're at home against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, we bet against them on a last 14, only 14 points. And it was home. They look like they have a true freshman quarterback. It was decent, but this is going to be on the road. This is going to be a different story this week. And then last but not least, I have Washington, the Huskies at home against Utah. Utah looked out of it last week. Washington's 2-0, and I think Utah's 0-1. So I do like that one. It's in Washington.
All right, I got no problem with those 4. Those all look like good ones. I got a couple others I want to let's see if we can go down the list of some. There's some big games this week. Ohio State's favored by a ton over Illinois. I don't know.
Yeah. The coach has COVID, so he's out. He's not there. I don't know if that's Ryan Day or whatever. So I don't. I'm trying to find the number. Yeah, I don't know. 27.5, I think it was. If I had to, I'd take Ohio State. I don't know they're going to score. They're going to put the pedal to the metal here the rest of the season here. Especially, I think you're going to see Dabo do the same thing. He's been bitching and moaning about Florida State. So I don't know if you feel strongly about it, but I certainly wouldn't go against Ohio. Yeah, 28 points here against Illinois. Yep.
I'll take Ohio State. I think. What about and then they got Florida versus Kentucky. Webb. Kentucky's got a pretty good defense. We talked about that before. That's a lot of points. I'm almost leaning towards taking the points in this game. Florida was really lackluster against Vanderbilt last week. It took them forever.
That's what it was. Yeah.
It took them forever to kind of get going.
Defense
and stuff.
Did not look good. Yeah.
Right.
I'm trying to see what I can get a number here. You got a number there?
25.
Yeah, no, I got no problem taking Kentucky in that. I mean, we're waiting for them to do something good. Oh, there's another one here. I see maybe take some points too. East Carolina I was looking at. They're at home against SMU. I've had them the past couple weeks, and they seem to be pretty good. I think they won outright last week. They're getting 12 at home. Against SMU can score, but I was looking at that one a little bit.
All right. We can throw it in there. I got no problem throwing it in there. Let's see.
Plus 12 is always good.
And then didn't you say you were looking at a total maybe with Maryland and Indiana?
Yeah, 64. Yeah, I did like that one. I think they're going to run up and down the field in that one. Make sure it's still the same. Yeah, 64 I got here. I think I do like that too. That's going to be – they're both going to score in the 30s easily, I think.
All right. We'll go over Maryland. It's funny to hear Big Ten teams and talk about Big Ten teams and say, oh, yeah, they're going to score 60 points.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Indiana throws it all over.
Right. We're going to stick in a MAC, Webb. I like Kent State catching a 7.5 from Buffalo. Buffalo's a good team, but both of these teams are pretty good.
Yeah, they're kind of top heavy. Those there's like Bowling Green in Northern Illinois, and there's another one, Akron maybe. One of the other ones that just suck.
They get rolled all the time.
Yeah, the other ones are, the top of that, the conference is good. That's like Kent State, Western Michigan, Buffalo, plus 7.5. Yeah, I think that's going to be a pretty even game. That's 12 o'clock. I had no problem taking Kent State there.
All right. The big game of the week, Webb, Alabama and Auburn. It's 24.5 points. It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot of points.
I'm gonna punt on this one. I don't know which way to go. I expected more out of Patrick Nix, I think, this year. They did lose a ton on defense to the draft, but I don't know. Alabama is they're just a machine. They're cruising right now. I wouldn't take. I don't know what to do on this one, so I'm gonna punt on this one.
All right. Any thoughts on the total or any of that or anything?
62.5. I'd probably go over that if I had to.
I was leaning over that as well.
But again, that's
just Alabama puts up 40 no matter what.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right,
and you got to think Auburn will be good enough to score a couple. Or Auburn's going to score a couple times.
Yep.
What about you talked about Clemson running up scores? Pittsburgh plays Clemson. Clemson almost seems like they fell off the map since the Notre Dame game and since Trevor Lawrence has been out. Yep. They might come out this week and just put a hurting on somebody.
I got 23 here. I thought it was more than that. Against Pitt, at home, they're going to stroke them. They're going to cover that, no doubt. They might hang a 7 number. They might score 10
Clemson
touchdowns
on the list.
I mean, he's pissed off. Trevor Lawrence hasn't played.
Yep.
They got a loss. This is his ultimate Dabo. No one has any respect for us.
Right.
Job.
Right. Oh, another one. We're coming up with a lot of games. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's bad. I was on Louisville so many times this year. They let us down a ton of times. Yeah. Boston College plays decent football. They come to play. They play decent football. Boston College is at home. I like Boston College. I think they're laying maybe 1 point.
I think it was a pick 'em. That's what I saw. Yeah, I looked at that too. I'm way down on Louisville. I was way high on them in the beginning, that first couple weeks, and they just suck. Yeah, that's cool. I'm good.
Boise plays San Jose State. Boise kind of struggled in Hawaii last week, but it was Hawaii.
That's always weird. I always think twice when I bet. Like, how hard is it? It's hard to get up to go to Hawaii and play kind of a shitty team, and then look around, and then you got to go play football.
Right. So it's 11.5 points. Boise's favored by San Jose State. I think they can cover 2 touchdowns, but we can wait if you're not sure about that. We got a lot of games so far.
Yeah, I don't have that one even on the board here for some reason. I wonder if there's some COVID issues. Oh, no, I do. I got it. 11.5. I'm a Boise guy. I've liked Boise for a long time. I do like that quarterback. I think he's going to get drafted. What's San Jose State's record?
They're 4-0.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
They're 4
wins. How many do we have?
Huh.
We got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We got 11.
All right, fuck it. We'll just throw Boise in there. Maybe.
All right, Boise.
Go 12. Fuck it.
Nice even 12. We'll go fucking.
There you go.
8-4. 8-4.
Go. Go crazy.
10-2. 10-2.
Yep.
All right, move on over to the NFL then.
And this is a kind of a weird week too with all these games. I don't know. I mean, we can just you want to just go down one by one?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
The first one's the Raiders and the Falcons, Webb.
I like the Raiders here. They're -3 here. The total's 53, but I like the Raiders. I think they're one of these teams that are kind of better on the road type thing. They're a better team than I gave them credit for. And Atlanta just still blows. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened to Matt Ryan. As soon as Shanahan left, he was just a different player. And I don't know what they're doing. The coach isn't good. He's going to go for it and then not go for it. I do like the Raiders with something to play for here.
Right. And they're coming off a tough game last week. But they gave Kansas City all they could handle. And Carr's playing well. I think Raiders have a good chance of covering this. No problem.
I like that.
Next game on the list is the Chargers and the Bills. You're San Diego Superchargers.
Yeah, LA baby, LA Chargers. -4 here. I'm leaning towards the Bills. They just lost what is it? Their center or somebody for the year.
Offensive tackle maybe.
Yeah, so that's and I think that what's his name? I don't know if Tre'Davious White is still hurt too. I love the game at 3 versus 4. So I don't know. Let's
yeah, I'm gonna skip that one.
Right, cool.
Next game I love, Webb. The Giants go to the Bengals, and they're laying about 6 points.
I got 6 here, 6-44. This to me is it's hard to say that with a 3-win team, but yeah, they're going to smoke them. This is going to be a pretty easy game for the Giants. This is one that they got circled. They're going to get. They're kind of excited. Cowboys lost. They can kind of tie it up or whatever. So. I do like the Giants.
Giants are playing better, and the Bengals. The only thing the Bengals had going for them was Joe Burrow. Yep. It's going to be. This game could be a blowout if there's ever a team with a 3-7 record that can blow out another team.
Right.
This might be it. So moving on, just a few weeks ago, Webb, the Colts got the better of the Titans in Tennessee, but it was a really close game, and Tennessee gave it away with a couple bad field goals as usual and shitty special teams and stuff. But the Colts are laying 3 to the Titans at home.
Yeah, and 51.5. This one I don't know. I'm still not sold on Phillip Rivers here. I'm liking the Titans more and more, but their defense scares me a little bit. If I had to, I'd probably go over in this one.
Yeah.
But the side, I can't pick it.
Right. I think I like the over in this one if we want to go ahead and
punch it.
Over Titans.
Yep.
Fair enough. Moving on. They got the can't explain what the Panthers do and can't explain what the Vikings do, and they're playing each other this week. The Vikings are favored by a field goal.
Yeah, well, there's no Bridgewater, right?
I think Bridge might be back this week.
Oh, okay. Well, definitely no McCaffrey. All right, Bridgewater's playing, and we're going to stay off. I'm going to stay off. I did like, for some reason, I was looking at the Vikings to win this one, but with Bridgewater, we're going to have enough probably to punt on this one, I think.
Okay, move on. We got the Cardinals and the Patriots.
It's another team I can't figure out is the Patriots. I think we were all kind of on the Cardinals hype wagon there for a couple weeks, and they came crashing down to earth. They're -1.5 and 49. It seems like they've been on the road a bunch of games here. The Cardinals. I'm gonna punt on this one too. If I had to, I would take the Cardinals though.
Right. I just don't like the feeling of the Cardinals in the Patriots Stadium if it's cold and nasty up there or something like that. I think Larry Fitzgerald might be out with some COVID.
Oh, he is. I think he is. Right.
Issues. Yeah. Not that, he's the number one man at this point or anything like that, but I just can see that being an ugly game. I don't know if maybe Cardinals come up, but I can see the Patriots coming up with a couple turnovers when they need them, kind of thing like that. I don't like the Patriots, but I think let's stay away.
Yeah, even some with special teams or something. Yeah.
Next game up is the Dolphins and the Jets.
That's an easy one. I like the Dolphins here. And this one, they're not playing well. This is a get-right game for them. 6.5 points will buy it to 6. The Jets, it's funny. Up here, Adam Gase is saying this is the game that we've all been wanting to see. I guess Darnold's playing, and then he's got Mims, Perryman, and somebody else, the receiver. So it's funny. He's saying this is what could have been. That was the phrase. This is the game of what could have been. So
which means if they lay an egg this week, he really should just take his bag and leave.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Take his ball and go home. I like the Dolphins. They're just hands down a better team. No fans, no nothing. It's not the craziest weather up here right now. I like the Dolphins.
All right, fair enough. I got no problem with that. We talked about the Browns already. Browns over the Jaguars laying a touchdown.
Touchdown, yeah. Again, I'm leery just based off of who's not playing for the Browns, but if they can stay true to running the ball, they'll cover this, no problem.
Okay, the Saints go to Mile High, Webb, and the Broncos are getting 6 points. I might surprise you on this one.
Yeah, I don't have it here, so I guess that means something.
I think a couple of Broncos might be COVID in and out.
COVID. I'd look at it. Who's Taysom Hill's the quarterback, right? I wouldn't mind taking the underdog here. Go with the contrarian play on this one. Buy it to 7.
That's where I'm leaving. Everybody's talking about how great they were last week. All this stuff. Broncos much better defense than the Falcons. They're only 4-6, but they're just a much better team than the Falcons. All in all, as long as Locke doesn't hand the ball over.
Well, that's what you're worried about, right? Yeah, exactly. Which Locke's going to show up? He doesn't. If he throws, 2 picks and a fumble, then they ain't beating nobody.
Right. So I kind of lean in taking the home dog in this one. Not leaning. I think I like them. We'll see. Taysom's going to have to prove it a few more times.
Yeah, no doubt. Right.
Before we're laying touchdowns on the road and stuff like that to anybody. Right. Next game up, 49ers in a desperation situation here. They're 4-6. They go to the Rams at 7-3.
I'm a Rams fan here at this point. I think they're good. He's another guy, another coach that kind of plays to the strength of his team. He'll run those jet sweeps and those quick short throws to get Goff into the game and get it to those, to his playmakers' hands. They do still run the ball effectively. I love Aaron Donald, and Jalen Ramsey's ridiculous too. And plus, he gets every call. I do like the Rams.
All right, I got no problem taking them. Big game in the, NFC against the AFC. The Buccaneers, man, they came off. We had the Rams last week, so that was a good pick. Bucks looked pretty crappy. Chiefs go to the Buccaneers, actually.
Yeah, -3. I think the center for the Buccaneers hurt his neck or something. They're saying he should retire. But he was a guy that replaced the other center, so I think they're going back with the first center. Anyways,
and they've had offensive line issues all season long. I think for Tom Brady. That's part of their issues is he's getting people on him all the time.
Yeah, and we talked about that over the summer. That was the one thing. If they can keep him upright, he'll cut you up. But if not, it's an issue, and that we've seen that in his Super Bowl that he's ended up losing. I just don't see what the Chiefs are going to get up for this game for. They're traveling to the East Coast. It's out of division, out of conference. I don't know. It's hard to bet against Mahomes, obviously. The Chiefs defense is cooling off a little bit. And everyone's kicking Brady's ass. This is the one. They haven't lost 2 games in a row all year. This is the one I'd take the 3 points on the home team.
All right, fair enough. That's we're going to go ahead and do that. I was going to say lay away, but I think like you say, I think that's one you catch a little team getting some points at home. NFL, anything happens anytime. I got no problem with that.
Yep.
All right, so Sunday night game, Bears and the Packers.
What's that? I don't have this one here either. I know Trubisky's
the Bears
playing.
are up to like 9.5. I think Trubisky maybe start.
He is. I did see that. I don't have that one here either. I can't bet on the Bears, so that's simple as that. So that's not fucking happening. So there you have it. I don't know if you want to punt. I don't know what the total is.
We'll have to punt. The total's 44.5, which is pretty low.
That's way
NFL
low.
Teams. What if Trubisky comes in there and says, "Hey man, this is my job."
Why not?
All he's got to do is if he gets 3 touchdowns, they're going to go over 44.5, right?
Oh, if he gets a touch, yeah.
Green Bay is going to get 21.
If he scores 20 points, yeah, that's a 2 field. Yeah, if he scores 4 times, 2 of them can be field goals. That goes over. That's going to have to be our play.
And the Packers' defense is terrible. That's going to help us out a little bit. Yeah. You want to go over?
Yeah, let's go over.
All right.
And they'll throw the ball. He'll throw the ball like crazy.
All right, and then Monday night, we got the Seahawks go to the Eagles.
I just think the Eagles are a complete disarray. Lane Johnson, the right tackle, is out again. The offensive line wasn't good anyways. I think all that smoke over the years about Wentz not being liked in the locker room is just rearing. It's just proving truer and truer. They're still banged up too. They're still real hurt. So I'm going to go. This to me, it looks almost too easy. I know it's a West Coast to the East Coast type thing. But I'm all over Seattle here.
All right, there we go. Seahawks. So, and then the next game, the last game is just the Ravens and the Steelers. I think we should wait and see what's going to play out with that a little more before we.
Well, who's the backup quarterback? Lamar Jackson is out for sure. So, right there, you're going to have to go. It's hard to go. Steelers going 10-0, beating the Ravens twice, but
it's only 5.
Is RJ3 the backup?
I don't know if he's a backup or the third string.
So that's interesting. But I would not. And I got no problem not picking the Ravens. I'm not a Ravens fan at all. So,
well, we can just go ahead and put the Steelers in. I don't care.
No, punch it.
Steelers. Fuck it. Right. All right. Raiders, Giants, over Titans, Dolphins, Browns, Broncos, Rams, Bucks, over Packers, Seahawks, and Steelers.
How many is that?
11.
Yeah, rolling, bro.
Perfect. We go 10-1.
That's
and
it.
We'll
be in the top 5. Yep, for sure.
All right. Well, I want to thank. We're going to take you out. If you're listening to it on the we're gonna take you out with the See Really music. The See Really, Little Saint,
Little Saint the Goat.
Yeah, Little Wager Maker rap. And thank you, John Grow, with the bumper music. iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio. Devin's going to tell you about YouTube right now.
Hey guys, it's Devin. Make sure you subscribe to the Wager Makers podcast on YouTube, like all their videos, and click that bell so that you turn on your post notifications and you never miss another video.
Thanks, Devin. Google Play Music, Podbean, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, sportswatchmotto.com. You can get all our picks. Even if you missed some this weekend on Thanksgiving Day and stuff like that, you could have bought some on there. The Wager Makers podcast on Facebook, The Wager Makers Talk, Twitter at The Wager Makers, Instagram at The Wager Makers. Email us at thewagermakers@gmail.com. Thank you, George Burge and Will Burr Investigations. Will Burr Investigations. MN3 Technologies and Nick Perrone.
Yeah.
John Grow for the bumper music. See Really and Little Saint the Goat. Thank you all for listening. Tell some friends, man. Let's get this shit going. Almost playoff time, all that stuff. Let's get it. Let's get it.
That's right. Brick by brick, baby. Let's get it, Smith. Tell a friend, reply, like, or subscribe, like, forward. Let's get it going, man. It's time to blow it up. 71 episodes. Let's get this another 71 much bigger and better. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Will Burr, See Really, Little Saint the Goat, Nick Perrone, the whole crew. Thanks, everybody.
Welcome to the Wager Makers podcast with Webb and Smith.
Yeah. Hey, shout out Wager Maker podcast.
Brick by brick, baby.
Yeah.
Here comes the Wager Maker
Express. I hear y'all sick of losing money cause y'all don't know how to bet. Better hit that Wager Maker podcast with Smith and Webb. They gon' show y'all how to do this. Take these notes like y'all some students. Y'all can't seem to pick them right. Well, tonight y'all lucky night. It's that Wager Maker podcast. Wager Maker podcast. Wager Maker podcast. Your bookie getting sick cause we built this brick by brick. It's that Wager Maker podcast. It's that Wager Maker podcast. It's that Wager Maker podcast. Come and place your bets with that WM Express. Let's go.